The animosity between President Trump and author Bob Woodward is escalating tonight, just ahead of the release of Woodward's new book. We also have an update on the search for the author of that infamous New York Times op-ed piece. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts joins us tonight, live from the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Brett, good evening to you. And here is the headline in the search for whoever wrote that anonymous op-ed. If the Department of Justice doesn't pick up the search, it's likely that no one else will. Sources tell Fox News the White House has not launched an investigation of any kind into who Anonymous really is. Aboard Air Force One on Friday, President Trump ignited a fierce debate, suggesting the Attorney General should look into who is responsible for the anonymous op-ed in the New York Times.
Is there anything about what was published by the New York Times that would warrant an investigation by the Department of Justice?
If that individual is in meetings where national security is being discussed or other important topics, and they are attempting to undermine the executive branch, that would certainly be problematic and something that the Department of Justice should look into.
Fox News is told that while the president was clearly upset by the op-ed and would like to know who wrote it, there is no list of people suspected of writing it, and no one is trying to ferret out the author.
Is the White House actively trying to find out who this person is, or do you not really care and you're moving on to other things?
We're certainly focused on things that actually matter. It's frankly, I think, sad and pathetic that a gutless, anonymous source could receive so much attention from the media.
Every top-level administration official has denied writing the op-ed. Speaking to Chris Wallace on Sunday, Vice President Pence said he'd be happy to back up his denial with a polygraph.
Should all top officials take a lie detector test, and would you agree to take one?
I would agree to take it in a heartbeat.
But according to the press secretary, that likely won't be necessary.
No lie detectors are being used or talked about or looked at. The White House and the staff here are focused on doing our jobs, not deal with cowards that refuse to put their names in an anonymous letter.
But President Trump was still taking a flamethrower to the anonymous sources in Bob Woodward's book today, tweeting, "Why should anyone trust you, General Mattis? General Kelly said it's not true," and comparing Woodward to a Dem operative prior to the midterms. He was caught cold. Woodward, on the Today Show this morning, begged to differ, saying, "Don't believe the denials. Believe me."
They are not telling the truth. I've never seen an instance when the president is so detached from the reality of what's going on.
Despite the terse back and forth, President Trump and Bob Woodward did find some common ground on that anonymous New York Times op-ed. Woodward criticizing it as being, quote, too vague and does not meet the standards of the building blocks of journalism. Brett?
John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thanks.